Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Afrochat Weekly. I might have gone live. I might have started speaking before it went live. But anyway, welcome to another episode of Afrochat Weekly, a weekly discussion about issues facing digital a weekly discussion about digital marketing issues facing businesses and marketers today. So we look at some of the top stories from last week, and we discuss them from give you our perspective on those stories, and hopefully you can take a thing or two away from that. This episode is brought to you courtesy of afrodynamics.com, and you can go over there to subscribe to keep up to date with all the news that's happening, to watch this show, to watch previous episodes of this show. My name is Ali Kibao, and joining me as always is Laurina. Laurina, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well. Tuesday today. I wish it was a short week for some reason. I don't know why, but I just wish it was a short week. Anyway, we've got a lot to cover today. We've got stories from Instagram. Of course, we can't do our show without talking about Facebook. We've got stories from Facebook. Uh, Instagram and Instagram stories, of course, 360 videos coming to Facebook, and Facebook is making tools to make this possible for businesses. Um, Facebook had made a huge announcement which made a lot of commotion about advertising and ad blocking last week. And then, if we have time, we're going to touch a little bit on the state of journalism today and the whole clickbait thing. We discussed something about that last week, about how Facebook is trying to combat clickbait, and what clickbait is basically turning journalism into right now. There was a good video by John Oliver about that. We're going to look at that, and maybe some news, some sad news from Blab. We'll see how much we can cover in the next half an hour. So thank you very much for joining us, and if you have any questions, comments, please don't forget to leave those below or above wherever you're watching this from. You can contact us through the website as well. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, we're open to those. So let's jump straight into our first story today, and this one comes to us courtesy of marketingland.com and Instagram. Bing, bing, bing. Breaking news. Instagram is using an algorithm and Facebook data to sort its new stories feature. So last week, of course, the news broke about Instagram stories, and we talked a little bit about that. And I think we asked each other, like, do you think they're going to use an algorithm or not? We were wondering about that. How are they going to decide whose stories to show up and who's not, or who goes to the back of the queue, who goes to the front of the queue? Well, they have a system that has been working well for them, and it looks like they're going to use that system to sort out Instagram stories as well. What do you make of this, Laurina, and what does this mean for businesses from your perspective?
Well, firstly, I'm not surprised because I did speak about this last week. And I did say, go out there, make stories, because we know they're going to bring out an algorithm. I didn't see them not bringing out an algorithm. Snapchat hasn't ever brought out an algorithm. So that's the difference between Snapchat and Instagram, and we're going to look at that in the 7 ways Instagram is better than Snapchat. But I did not see them staying with that Snapchat route, only because Facebook is the parent company, and Facebook, gets most of its revenue from advertising, and it already had an algorithm on Facebook. So I wasn't surprised at all when I read this. I was like, oh, well, this was bound to happen. But like I was saying last week, though, what this means for businesses is that you just have to be more out there. So this is especially good for businesses who have a huge following on Instagram, with the same people that have liked their Facebook page and interact with their Facebook page. Because now, instead of your story being number 10 or whatever, if people interact with your Facebook page and they are also liking your Instagram page, it means your story is more likely going to end up in the first 5 of the Instagram stories on their timeline. So yeah, it just means interact more, do more video, like we've been saying before.
Yeah.
This is not a bad thing at all, and it's not something hard to get over. Just like we've gotten over the Facebook algorithm. This is just another hurdle, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not a hard
mean,
one.
because the scale, if I look at the comparisons, because the main comparison between Instagram stories and any other platform, it's Snapchat, because it's a copy of Snapchat. So if I look at the comparisons between the two, the difference is that on Instagram I follow a couple of hundred people, right? So what if they all start making video Instagram stories? How do I get to those? And this is not like your images where you can just scroll through and scroll past and just look and keep going. This is an immersive experience. So I need to see the good stuff, you know. I personally prefer, even on my Facebook feed, when I go to Facebook, I make a deliberate effort to go into the unfiltered feed, because there's often good stuff that my friends have shared that I miss because I haven't
Yeah.
interacted with those friends for a long time. And Facebook decides, well, maybe our relationship is not important enough. But that doesn't mean that because I'm not in touch with them, I don't care to hear what they say every now and again. So I usually go to the unsorted recent feed, and I look through that. It's often a lot, and I see a lot of things that I would otherwise miss out. So I prefer that, but I can understand for clarity purposes and certainly for advertising purposes, Instagram would want to have some sort of control over this and to give people the best possible experience. So like you say, I agree with you fully. It's probably a good thing, and they've, if anybody has, Facebook has perfected this whole algorithm thing to their advantage and to the users. They've got 1.6, close to 1.7 billion users, and they keep growing. So they know what they're doing. We're going to leave it at that and just trust their opinion. But yeah, this is interesting. I like the point that you bring up about, hey, people should just do these things. They must go out there, make stories, get people interacting with you now already. Don't wait until whenever. You must start doing it now, so that when the algorithm kicks in and when everybody's doing it, you have an advantage to that. So that's news from Instagram. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll keep you guys informed as well as that unfolds. On to our next story. New publisher tool for 360 video. Now we know that video is important. Now we know that there's live video, but the other big thing now is the 360 video. And if you don't know what a 360 video is, you can go to YouTube right now on your smartphone and search for 360 videos, and you will see these are videos where they allow you to either swipe around with your finger and then you can see the surroundings. So 360, you can see all around, or you can move your phone and it will show you around the camera, whatever that is. And there's a lot of advancements in this area. But Facebook now is making it possible, if you can produce 360 videos, 360-degree videos, to publish them. So they're making tools for everybody to be able to do this. Laurina, what is your take on this?
Again, brilliant. We've been talking about not 360, but rather videos for a while now. And I don't remember what article I read, but Facebook now prioritizes video on the
Yes.
top of the newsfeed more than, pictures or just random status updates. So if, again, you want to beat Facebook algorithm and you want to
Yeah.
be up there and have your business be seen, this is yet another tool that you can use that's going to be to your advantage. And again, like you said in the previous story, the more people that interact with your Facebook stuff, the more people will interact with your Instagram stories. So it's a
Yeah.
two birds with one stone type situation. I like it.
And I'm totally okay. Let me bring myself back here. I'm totally going to geek out on this because the way they make this tool, it is easy, like everything Facebook. They've made it easy to use, and I like one feature specifically. So often, when you are in a 360 video, and I use the VR for example, and you're completely immersed. And I watched a clip of Marvel's the comic, and Iron Man, Captain America is in there, and Thor is in there, and they're fighting these robots, and you are like in the middle of it, like everything is flying around you. I didn't know
Yeah.
where to look. Like you look there, you look up, there's everything. You look down and you're like on top of a building. So there's so much going on. And one thing that Facebook has done in this feature is that they've added an ability for publishers to add a point. So it
Yeah.
means that in the videos you can add points to say that, hey, look there, that is important. Look over here, this is important. Look over there, this is important. So I'll get these visual cues when I'm watching the video to look at something important that's happening. Otherwise, I might miss. And I think this could be really nice for tourism. Businesses have got stuff to show, like scenery and stuff like that. What do you think in terms of our efforts with video and content in general? Do you see this working out very well?
I see it working out very well. I mean, like you said, we have scenery to show, we have rooms to show, we just have our space to show, showrooms to show. There is so
Yeah,
much that businesses out there can show, whether you're a restaurant or a gym or whatever. Like, people want to see your premises, people want to feel like they're there, so that when they are there, it seems familiar. It's also a way to get people familiar with the business, even if they've never been there, and to
yeah,
feel like they are welcome, like they've been there before. It's a place they want to go back to. So
yeah.
yeah, we do have, no matter what business you are, we do have a lot to show,
Yeah,
and it's time we
that's
start
true.
showing it.
That's true. We just have to start showing it. And I saw one attempt by VW. I don't know if you remember that ad where they put a 360 camera in the car, and
Yeah.
these guys were just driving around. And you can look. I think it was the VW up that they were trying to promote, and you could look around the car by moving your phone around or swiping on your screen. I think they could have done better, being such a big brand. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the early days of these things, and we'll see a lot of silly stuff coming along. The one thing that's a challenge is the technology, right? And I think the way we're moving towards is this technology is going to get cheaper, because Samsung already made a camera for this. They announced that when they launched the Note 7, they made a 360 video camera, which costs just as much as your cell phone does today. I think about $400 or so, which is about close to 5,000 rand, which is fantastic. So these things are becoming a commodity right now. If you take a panorama panorama photo on your phone, and then if you publish that to Facebook automatically makes that they call it a 360, but it's not a 360. So people can see, and then they can move around to see the whole thing, like you were seeing it when you were taking the picture. And anybody can try this. You do this now. Take out your cell phone, take a panorama, upload it to Facebook, and then when you go view that photo, you can see there's a little icon on the side that shows you that this is 360. So I think the technology is getting cheaper and easier, and yeah, this is going to be only good for businesses to use. Into our next story. Um, Again, of course, we can't steer away from Facebook. This next story comes to us from the Facebook newsroom themselves, and they frame it as a new way to control the ads you see on Facebook and an update on ad blocking. For most people, however, this was the important part of the story, the
Yeah.
ad blocking, because the advertising industry has been fighting against ad blocking for quite some time now. And what it is, for those who don't know what ad blocking is, when you go on your browser, this mainly works for the desktop thing, but also mobile. So when you are on your browser and you're looking at different websites, you see all these kinds of adverts, some of them popping up, some of them moving around. So there's software that you can install in your browser or your cell phone, and it blocks all these adverts. Now, this doesn't affect Facebook as much, because Facebook is mainly consumed on a mobile phone, and over there, people don't really care much. No, not people don't care much. The ad blockers can't work in the Facebook app, so it doesn't really matter that much. What they are trying to do here is basically, I think, in my opinion, make a statement to advertisers, because advertisers got freaked out by the idea that, hey, ad blocking, now what are we going to do? People hate adverts. I don't think, however, this addresses the problem, right? Because you're basically saying, hey, we have a workaround for ad blocking, but you can go and change your settings to say which adverts you want to see and which adverts you don't want to see. First of all, nobody's going to do that, and Facebook knows it. People don't even go through their security settings. So they know no one is going to do that,
Yeah.
right? Firstly. Secondly, it basically says that, okay, you hate adverts and you install this software to block adverts, but we're going to find a workaround to show you that adverts that you hated and blocked in the first place anyway. I don't know if this addresses the problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's your take on this story overall, Larina?
I think, like you said, Facebook was just doing that for us, the marketers, so we wouldn't panic. Otherwise, I don't really see it changing anything. Obviously, they're going to be able to stop ad blockers now, so they will be able to get more ads out there. But with regards to people changing the preferences of the ads they see, I don't see that happening. In the past gazillion years that I've been signed up to Facebook, I've only ever blocked one ad because I don't think the person who created the ad they created it, I think it was for too long. So I kept on seeing it on my timeline and I was like, okay, I get it. Thank you for informing me. But you've got to go now. That's the only time I've ever really, changed my preferences or anything. But I don't think people will do that. They'll just keep scrolling over ads they don't want to see, even though they had installed an ad blocker to do this for them. So that's just gonna make them kind of angry. But hey,
Yeah, I think we in the marketing community and maybe the big advertisers that spend billions of dollars a year with Facebook, those people will care because along with this, there was news that P&G was stopping targeted advertising because the biggest thing about Facebook is that, hey, they say you can target people and all that. And P&G, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but P&G was doing targeted advertising for one of their brands, and then they decided that they were going to change that to non-targeted advertising and to say, hey, just put it out there. And the sales for that product increased when they turned to just general advertising. But this is a big brand. For small businesses, you can't afford to spend the kind of money they're spending. And they obviously sell to the masses. So their products are like mass. If you buy Tide or whatever, Colgate, whatever is a P&G product, this is like they need to sell billions of these things. And obviously
yeah,
you can't just target people. So, and people were confusing between that and the idea they were thinking that P&G is not going to be advertising or spending much on Facebook advertising, and whenever big brands like that make a statement, we always think, hey, what do they know that we don't? So it's nothing like that. And I think Facebook is doing this to calm those people's nerves, but it doesn't affect anyone. But the underlying problem is that people don't want to see ads, because it's a horrible
yeah,
experience right now. So,
yeah,
so the whole Facebook trying to get around it, and then the ad block is getting around Facebook, and then this cat and mouse game is just not addressing the key issue here, which is people hate adverts. And I think
yeah.
mainly it's because a lot of adverts suck. But in your experience and opinion, Larina, why do you think people hate online advertising so much? Of course, not our
Well,
adverts, because our adverts are fantastic, right? Why do
yes, I was
people
a good. Yeah.
why do people hate advertising so much online?
I
Why do
just
people
feel
go
like
to the extent that they pay to block these adverts?
I just feel like people are tired of having things sold to them. We've become such like a buy and sell world that people just want to like have a good time somewhere and not be sold anything, not be, like coerced into buying something that they don't want to buy or they didn't think about buying or whatever. People just want to be on Facebook to see status updates, see some funny memes, see a couple of videos, log off and go to sleep. They don't want to be there now and be thinking
Log
about,
off and go to sleep.
oh my gosh.
I like the sequence of events that you put in, like see their friends' status. That shows you a list of priorities. See some funny memes, log off and go to sleep. Life
Well,
goals right
yeah.
there.
They
Hashtag
don't want
life
to be
goals.
now like They want to see an advert about a pencil, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I do need a pencil. Oh snap, I hadn't thought about this pencil. Do I need this pencil? Maybe I should go on their website and see more pencils." Like now, that's just like veered off course. People just want to relax in this day and age,
Yeah.
and they don't want to be sold anything anymore. They're tired of being sold stuff. Before,
Yeah.
advertising used to be, it was creeping up on us. We didn't realize it was advertising. We'd be like, oh, that looks like a nice burger. Let me go buy it. But now people know that when you do go buy that burger, it's not the same. So I think people are tired of being lied to, tired of bad adverts that are targeted towards the wrong people, and now they just rather pay to
Yeah.
get those out the way.
Yeah, and I think, oh my God, there's noise. I've got to find out where the noise is coming from and sort and fix that. I think it's coming from my end. But anyway, I think people, we've abused online adverts. This was the
Yeah,
promised land. Everything will be able to measure and see where the money is going and what success is bringing to brands and all that. And I think we thought this was like the I don't know what that is just going to solve all our problems as marketers and advertisers. And it just still requires just as much work, as much creativity to put out adverts that people actually want to see. So
yeah,
yeah, we'll see how that unfolds because right now they're chasing each other. The ad blockers are finding a workaround to Facebook's workaround, and then Facebook. So within like a couple of days, they've each been like, "Oh, we found your way around the ad blockers." Ad blockers say,
yeah.
"No, we found a way around Facebook," and Facebook, so it's a back and forth. I think eventually Facebook will win that battle, but it doesn't address the core of the problem here, which is people hate
Yeah.
advertising. So you shared an article about reasons that Instagram stories are superior to Snapchat. So why don't you tell us about this article with the reasons that I've mentioned here, because there's 7 of them, and tell us your take on it. Do you agree with it? And how can we take advantage of this situation if it is the case?
Well, we spoke about some of these last week, actually,
Mm,
especially the first one, an established audience. And I was saying to you that some of the reasons why businesses don't want or did not want to go on Snapchat or felt discouraged was because you would have, for example, 1,000 people on Instagram, and you'd be like, "Hey, follow us on Snapchat," and then 5 people would follow you. And you're kind of left there being like, is this even worth it? Should we even bother, getting people on Snapchat? But Instagram, you have already built that audience. And it said there, I don't remember where exactly, but you've been building that audience since like 2010, 2012 or whatever.
mm,
It's people on your Instagram that have been seeing your content and they want to see your content. Otherwise, they would have just unfollowed you. With Snapchat, you built an audience for like 6 months maybe, and you probably got at max 20 people that you didn't even know whether wanted to see your post or not. And even when you have 20 people, you get like 6 maximum views for a video. So
but Lorena, in on the same breath,
yeah,
Instagram started somewhere. At some point, Instagram had 0 users.
yeah.
So, what's the difference, and why shouldn't marketers persevere with Snapchat? Maybe it's going to become big, or maybe bigger than Instagram, or just as big as Instagram.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between that and where Instagram was and where Snapchat is now? In terms of users and engagement, and as far as the first point in this article is concerned.
I agree with you, but I think the one difference I have noted from between Instagram and Snapchat is something that you even mentioned last week, where with Instagram, if I am a business and I have a public profile, it's easy for someone who's not even following me to at least look at my content and see whether they're interested or not. With Snapchat, it's so much harder to market your name because it's not like you have a page that people can come to and be like, oh yeah, wow, they look like they post great content. Let me go there. So with
Mm.
Snapchat, you can only kind of market to people who already like your Facebook page or your Instagram page. So you have to go on
It's a
Instagram and
personal
Facebook.
it's more of a
Yeah,
personal connection
yeah,
type of thing, like, okay, person to person type of
yeah,
scenario, where Instagram, the relationship that we've come to expect from each other on Instagram is slightly different. Is that what you're trying to say? Which I would fully
yeah.
agree with you, by the way. So Okay,
Yeah,
so that's one of the other
build
points
on
here, that it's
Instagram.
easier growth and discoverability. It's easier to discover. It's deeper
Yeah,
market penetration. So for businesses right now, it seems like Instagram is going to win this whole Insta Snap battle, and
yeah,
it might impede on the growth of Snapchat. And I don't think people had embraced, especially businesses had embraced. We were still struggling to figure out where Snapchat fits into the whole marketing mix, and
yeah.
yeah, so we'll see. One of the points that they make here is cleaner user interface. And Snapchat was one of those.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
so yeah.
completely agree with this one, especially after Snapchat brought in memories. Even I am confused. I don't know what is
Yeah,
going on. I don't know where to go.
yeah.
I think I have 3 Snapchat usernames from my past because I would download Snapchat, get a username, I'd be like, yes, I'm going to do this. And then it would be so confusing, I would end up deleting it. And then people would be like, no, get back on Snapchat. So it's not an easy platform to understand. And that, yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Now it's crazy like that. We've got about 10 more minutes. We've got to rush through this. Take us through the new Twitter promoted stickers. What are those, and what do they mean? This is an article from Social Media Today, and of course a Twitter announcement that they're bringing stickers to promoted stickers options for brands. What does this mean, and is this important at all for businesses? What's your take?
I mainly uh, brought this article up because I was so confused as to why this is relevant to anybody. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is how I feel personally. When I read it, I was like, what is the point of this? So
Yeah.
basically, Twitter has brought out stickers that you can put on your pictures and post on Twitter. That's about it. But you can use the stickers to search for other users using the same sticker. So as you can see there, the elephant with the glasses, if you were to click on the glasses, you can then see other people using the the glasses sticker. So brands will then bring
Oh,
out their own customized sticker. So Pepsi will bring out a sticker, Coke, Starbucks, whatever. And when you click on that sticker, you'll see other people who have Starbucks stickers and Pepsi stickers and Coke stickers,
I
etc.
see.
So it's like a
It makes a
hashtag
little bit more
on the
sense now.
picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's basically hashtag for pictures, right? So
Yeah,
taking a
but
hashtag.
why?
Um, I think you brought up a nice point where the bigger brands, your Pepsis, your Cokes, your Starbucks, can start taking advantage of this. And I think Twitter is in disarray right now. They don't know what to do. They don't know.
Yeah,
They don't even know what they want to be. And there was a big article from BuzzFeed last week talking about Twitter harassment and how Twitter hasn't done enough to combat trolls. And we touched about this when Ghostbusters, the girl from Ghostbusters, Leslie, I think it was, who got harassed so badly, left Twitter, and the Twitter CEO reached out to her to say, we're going to do something about this. And the super trolls that live and breathe and just breed on Twitter.
yeah,
Um, the openness of Twitter is what made it so good. It's a double-edged sword, however, because the anonymity that Twitter provides also is a breeding ground for trolls. So there was a huge article. It just hit Twitter big time. Twitter struggling to make money. Twitter struggling to grow. They don't know what they are, what they want to be, and this is just them grasping for straws right now. And
yeah,
I'm hesitant to invest. I would be hesitant to invest a lot into Twitter marketing right now
yeah,
because, I mean, unless it's something that's sales, like direct marketing, like you want to do this campaign, but to invest in a long-term Twitter strategy. Right now, if you are what we're doing, for example, with our travel clients, that's working well because you can connect. It allows you that one-to-one connection, right?
yeah,
But as a marketing tool, I think it's a good networking tool. Still, it has a lot of value in that sense. But as a marketing tool, in the sense of putting your message out there and getting seen, that is becoming is very rapidly shrinking, and it's sad. I used to love Twitter quite a bit, and yeah, it's sad to see them go down this road. But yeah, so there's Twitter stickers now. You can go and do stickers. For those who
Hooray.
want to see stickers. Now, last week we spoke about. Clickbait, and then Facebook is trying to fight against clickbaits. And if you put out a headline which has those typical clickbait words in it, Facebook would suppress that and it wouldn't get surfaced to the top, which was good news. And then John Oliver did a parody, which was fantastically brilliant, by the way, about the state of journalism today. And he touched on things like when you go to government meetings and gatherings these days, there are no journalists there, because now we're in this age where do people want cute pictures of the cat that looks like the raccoon, or do they want real journalism? And I think this goes even further than that, right? If you look at brands, if you look at us, for instance, when we think about creating content for brands, for the brands we work with, and creating a content strategy, it's a constant battle between putting some substance and meat into the content, or because it's all about traffic and clicks. It's become that kind of world we live in. Overall, what do you make of this whole thing? I have a take on this, but I want to hear your take on it first. What do you make of this story and just the overall state of journalism and online publishing in general today?
I feel like especially print media or print journalism is on the decline, unfortunately. And that to me is the most informative type of journalism, if that makes sense. That is the origin, the OG of journalism, that is there to inform us about what actually matters. But what I'm seeing more and more these days is, look at what Kim Kardashian wore on the streets of New York yesterday. And that's journalists, or people who are supposed to be informing us, proper media companies informing us about what Kim Kardashian wore yesterday in New York.
You bring up a great point, right? Because these were formerly large media companies who we relied on for them to bring us noise again. I got to figure out where this noise is coming from and sort it. Anyway, moving on. These were media companies who really we depended on to get some good substance out of understanding what's happening in the world around us. And it's not happening anymore. That's it's a sad truth. It's a sad truth. I want to see if I can share a part of this video here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the sound from your side. This will be a one. I'll just do that. Tell me if you can hear this. I thought he brought up a good point when he says, having these government meetings without people to moderate, it's just not going to work. Can you hear from your side?
No, I can't.
Okay, no, that's not going to work. But this guy right here that you see on the screen is trying to make a point that without journalists in these places, it's going to be a problem. And the challenge is that journalists, they want to make money, right? These media houses, they need to make money, and the way they make money right now is advertising. So, and for advertising to work, they need the millions of people to come to their website. So it becomes about clicks, and then they just go down the rabbit hole, and there's no way out of it any further. If you look at BuzzFeed had started off as a listicles, and they did all these funny little things that that we came to know BuzzFeed for. But now BuzzFeed has evolved into a real media company. And they have BuzzFeed News, where they do investigative journalism. That piece
Yeah.
about Twitter and Twitter trolling and spamming and harassment, that was from BuzzFeed. And there was a lot of investigative thought process and work that went into that, which is fantastic. So BuzzFeed has
Yeah.
evolved from this company that used to post quizzes and 10 things you should know about this and the other, to a media powerhouse which is making an impact for those people who care about this. So the traditional media houses, however, they have the opposite problem. So they used to be these guys who BuzzFeed is trying to be, and they're trying to dumb themselves down to BuzzFeed's level 3-4 years ago, which is not going to work. You are losing people who were following you for that specific reason. But I can understand and appreciate the difficulty that media companies must be going through today,
Yeah.
but I think they just need to change their business model.
I think,
I think
yeah, I think the future of journalism, in my opinion, is the John Oliver type of journalism. I watch him every Monday or Tuesday, depending on when they decide to put their video up on YouTube. He informs me about so much that is going on around the world without making it seem like it's, like it's hard
like the
stuff
world
to
is
think about.
ending.
Yeah, he breaks it down to you and says, hey, the Brexit vote is happening next week. This is what it means. This is what it's going to cause. Then after the Brexit vote, he goes, this is what I said was going to happen. This is what it means. This is what we need to do. And
Yeah.
that is how I think media companies should go about it from now on. Unfortunately, people don't want to hear news in the same way they used to hear it before, that our parents used to hear it.
Yeah.
People
Our
now want
consumption
you to
habits have
say,
changed a lot, and
yeah,
media companies have got to take that into account as well. So, anyway, that's a little bit of sad news. That unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this morning. We thank you very much for sticking around and watching this. If you're watching this wherever you are, please leave us a comment, suggestions. We're open to those. And just a reminder, this show is a weekly show coming to you every Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning. We'll find a home where you can come and join us live. Right now, we're doing it on YouTube, on Google Hangouts Live. There's some changes. I saw a notice this morning that they want to move this somewhere and whatnot. So we'll be bringing this show to you every Tuesday at 10:30. We'll find a permanent home. But go to afrodynamics.com. There's a place for you to subscribe. There's a pop-up that will come up. We apologize for that, but it's the easiest way. Wherever you enter the website, you can leave your name and email address, and then we'll let you know the interesting stuff that's happening that could be affecting your business today or might be affecting your business in the future, so you can stay ahead of your competition and the industry overall. Laurina, thank you very much for making the time this morning. That's all we've got time for. We're going to sign out, and we hope to see you again next week. Stay cool. Bye-bye.